It's The Local Show on News Radio 570 WSYR, a service of Geddes Federal Savings and Loan and Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now, your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. It's The Local Show, the 2023 Father's Day edition. I'm your host, Tom Soccocio Jr., along with my friend and co-host, Steve Roberts. The Local Show features conversations about local businesses. We talk with the business owners, the CEOs, the CFOs, the entrepreneurs, nonprofits, business advocates, and other business-friendly organizations. We tell you how they got into business and why they do business right here in Syracuse, New York, and where their businesses might be going in the future. Now, you're going to hear all about their successes, their challenges, opportunities, marketing, and advertising. We're broadcasting from the Zoey Advertising Studios, sponsored by Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts and Geddes Federal Savings and Loan. We say Happy Father's Day to Steve Roberts.
How about that, Tom? Happy Father's Day to you.
Yeah.
You know, do you feel any older? Is that one of those things?
I don't know if that's a thing.
I don't know.
I remember when I first became a father enjoying it.
Okay.
Yeah, it progressively got worse, but it's...
Don't talk about Nick that way.
I enjoyed it at the beginning. In fact, my wife had to tell me, stop bringing things home. Because every time I was out, and I was working, I was full-time radio back then when the kids were first born. So I'd come home with like a soccer ball. She goes, where'd you get this soccer ball? And Hess. It was a Hess. I'd go to fill up gas and I'd bring home a soccer ball. There are only two.
So when you said don't bring things home, I thought you meant I went to work. Oh. They were annoying. I had to sell advertising. No. You come home with all this attitude and you're like, honey, stop bringing that home. I thought that's what I seriously thought that was
just
what you bring home.
Toys and things. And I remember my fondest memories of being dad is when you used to bring them out in public. Of course, I had girls. Mm-hmm. So, they were cute, and Kelly would put the big bow on their head and, all that kind of stuff. So people would stop us in Wegmans and go, they're really, cute kids, And that made me feel good looking too.
Sure.
I did that.
20 years later.
Then they started talking, and then it went downhill from there. No, they're good
Happy
kids.
Father's Day.
Yes, happy Father's Day. Hey, we got a great show all lined up for you. In fact, Natasha Schmidt's our first guest. She's the co-owner of Rubberstone, New York. Then Joe Scrippa will stop by. He's the owner of the Scrippa Group. Jennifer Covert, executive director of North Area Meals on Wheels. Somebody from Joey's Wish, an organization. The parents of Joey will be here. And then Neil Carr, the vice president of Prime Heating and Air. Joseph Kahn, who's the owner of Ichiban Japanese Steakhouse, will stop by. Rick Hardman, the owner of North Syracuse Lawn and Snow. And then Paul Zobel, the owner of Medicare Paul, will be here.
Medicare Paul.
And,
very interesting gentleman.
Yeah, all on the Local Show. So, Natasha's pretty interesting. How are you there, Natasha?
I'm well, thanks. How are you?
Very good, thank you.
You know what she wants more than anything, right, Tom?
An ice cream
She
cone?
wants my job.
Oh, no.
She is leveling. She is leveraging to be the co-hostess of this thing. Come on, deny it. Go ahead.
I mean, I'm just putting the feelers out.
Tom, you like her better than me anyway.
Well, arguably, people would like to work with anyone other than you. That's not true. It's only mostly true. So, Natasha, tell people what Rubberstone is so they have a good foundation.
Yeah, right. So Rubberstone is the decorative poured-in-place, hand-troweled safety surface that goes right over your existing substrates. So we're just out there in the CNY covering ugly concrete, asphalt, wood, paving stones. 1 square foot at a time.
Right. And when it's not nice weather, what do you do? Do you do stuff inside with this Rubberstone?
Yeah. So basements are a big interior project for us. Entryways, office buildings, basically any type of carpet alternative or tile alternative.
Right.
Yeah. So
are people surprised that they don't have to start and tear up all the concrete and start over? Is there
Most generally.
Are they?
Yeah. So even after 10 years in the business, I still regularly will show up to consultations and they're like, well, how much is it to rip it out, or how long is this going to take if you got to take it all out? And I'm like, no rip outs, no removals.
That's nice.
Yeah, as long as it's still structurally intact and everything is still sound underneath, we'll just remove anything that's loose and failing, any potential damage or contaminants. Then we put down our own high grade sealer. And then we pour in place and hand trowel the product on top of that. So cracks, heaves, deterioration, unsightly, uneven, all of that is coverable as long as it still has its structural integrity.
And you go from like a basic rubber stone, which would be, and it's manufactured out of like old tires?
Our black is 100% recycled. So we are a LEED certified company.
Oh, nice.
400 square foot garage, the average 2-car garage. We'll remove about 80 tires from a landfill. But we do have decorative options as well.
Sure.
We use high grade synthetic man-made EPDM rubber. So we can mix that, and then that just kind of dictates your square foot price, how much colored rubber, that synthetic EPDM we're putting into the mix.
And then you have some that has like the tumbled stones in it as well, right?
Yeah.
Rock and rubber?
Yeah. So we have that option, and we just have the full Sierra stone as well. So various different aggregates. I mean, everything has a place, right? So a garage is a little bit different than a pool, which is a little bit different than a basement, but all of them are coverable applications.
What's most popular around the pools? What do people usually do there?
Pools, most generally we're doing our full rubber. So a higher color mix, because the color rubber is what's UV stable. So with a UV stable product, we don't have to worry about color wearing out. That's a big question I get too, is like, how much is this going to fade over time?
Yeah.
And we're not really concerned with fading because we use that high grade pigmented rubber that's solid pigmented all the way through. So we're not just like painting the top of a tire.
What does Tom have on his sidewalk?
Yeah, he has the 100% solid EPDM mixed with the Sierra stone.
Right. And I got like racing stripes down the side. Well, they're not racing stripes.
That's a very creative way to describe it. It's a border.
Yeah, a border.
You got a border.
And so, we should let people know that if you're doing it around your pool and you wanted to put like stripes in there or a family crest or a logo.
The Zoey logo.
Yeah.
You can do
or
all
just
that.
Kissing dolphins, maybe.
Kissing dolphins. Yeah. Oh, how cute. So you can get all that done. Do you still have time to do people's pools? I mean,
one of the great things about working with our company is we have a very quick turnaround. Yeah. So once you get your consultation scheduled, and we can do that within 7 to 14 days, depending on where you're located. Once you commit to work with us, then you're looking at about a 4 to 5 week turnaround time. It's more weather-based.
So you go there. You don't just go, it's going to cost you. You actually show up and examine the situation to see what
9 out of 10 times, yes.
Most of the time.
Yeah, 9 out of 10 times for sure. Unless you're very familiar with who we are and the products that we offer, and you're also good with the tape measure, and I can trust that you gave me a good square footage.
I might be good at that.
Sure.
Other than that, yeah, I'm going to come out. I'm going to meet with you, present the product, and answer all your installation or warranty questions.
What's a tape measure? What's a tape measure?
Right.
Yeah, I don't know either. I use a wheelie thing.
How about the best number to get you at?
315-463-5916.
And it's rubberstoneny.com, rubberstoneny.com. Natasha Schmidt, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Happy Father's Day.
Thanks again. Okay. Joe Scrippa is coming up next, owner of the Scrippa Group, right here on the local show on 570 WSYR. Stick around.
Welcome back to The Local Show, a service of Gettys Federal Savings and Loan and Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show, locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now, here are your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Hey there, we're back again, and that means that you are too. Thanks for joining us on this Father's Day weekend. Hope you're having a good one, and if you're not a dad, well, bully for you. So that's cool. Steve, how you doing there, buddy?
I'm doing all right.
Yeah, did you go out fishing at all Has the boat been taken care of?
Yes-ish. We're doing okay. Haven't caught my limit of walleye yet. Did
you catch any walleye yet?
2, but maybe 1.5. I don't know the one counted, but we've been going out and having a good time. And I wish my bilge pump doesn't kick on automatically. Because
it doesn't?
No.
Why?
It could, because it's Tom, my boat wasn't like your boat. When you had a boat, you had like servants, and staff. Mine is not like that, Tom. So I flip it on, and it's a boat, right? So a boat is a hole in the water you pour money into.
You need an automatic bilge because when it rains and everything, it's going to.
It's not that far. I flip it on and do the thing. Yes. But
at least you're not flipping it off.
Nope.
Okay, good. Joe Scrippa's here with us. He's the owner of the Scrippa Group, but you got to talk about Geddes a little bit.
Okay.
They sponsored the show.
Yeah, they do. And they were here right at the beginning.
Right.
4 years ago. And a lot of people have come to know them, have used them, have got their mortgages, have got their home equity, loans, all those things. And now a lot of people are putting things into certificates of deposit because the market's like, maybe. Right. Yes, sure. No, I'm not sure. So keep it local. Geddes Federal Savings and Loan. Get it at Geddes.com, Tom.
All right. Joe Scrippa's here. Joe, how are you there, buddy?
Fantastic, Tom. And you?
Good. You look great.
You too.
As usual.
I'm loving that Zoey shirt.
Yeah.
Little mini Zoe's all over the shirt.
Yeah. If people want to jump on the YouTube channel, the stream, Zoey Advertising, you can see Tom is well dressed.
And it's a terrier. I don't know. I got lucky.
Yeah. It's Tom looks good.
I just love it.
Shirt. So, Joe, you've been around the real estate business for quite some time. A lot of people might know you. You have those big signs that say Scrippa across it. So I'm assuming that's you. Not too many other Scrippas.
Scrippa Group. Well, we've got a new one. We've got a young Scrippa now, newly licensed. And out there doing transactions. He's working full time with us, and we're having some fun.
Is that your son?
Yes, it is.
Oh, wonderful.
Alex
that is
Scrippa,
so cool.
It is. It's a riot.
And he's got his license.
He's got his license, and he started, assisting me with leasing. We do a lot of leasing. We do a lot of leasing of commercial spaces. And he is a very quick study, 60 days, and he's on his third lease.
Seems like a few short years ago, my kids and your kids were playing basketball in the driveway, running around your house, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Now my son's shooting heavy arms artillery, and yours is that's fabulous.
It is. It's really amazing. It's amazing to watch. Yep.
So you had in mind when you started the Scrippa Group just to do commercial? Did you want to do any residential?
No, I actually started in residential. Okay. I had a previous life. We owned a wholesale company. We imported and sold flowers, believe it or not. We imported flowers from different countries, and we distributed them through New York State, Ohio, Pennsylvania.
Wow.
Anyways, when we moved on from that, I started buying some houses. And from buying the houses, I moved on and said at some point, I said, crazily, it's not necessarily the thing to do. I said, I ought to get my real estate license and do it myself. And I did. And then I ended up, long story, Michael Astorino, a famous real estate.
Yeah, he lives over in our block, right?
He has been in real estate for a long, long time. Looked at him as a mentor. He was my paper route manager.
Oh, my God.
How about that?
And I admired him so much. He always used to pull up with his white van.
Yeah,
He was 10 years older than me. Okay, He is 10 years or 11 years to the day. And I was like 9 years old. I wanted a paper route. And my brothers all had paper routes. I admired him in his van. He got out with so much energy all the time.
Right.
And I just wanted to be this guy. He gave me a paper route. So when it was time for me to get my real estate license, I went out looking for him and to see where he was, because I always saw him in the paper as the top producer.
Right? Yeah.
And that was how I picked my first office, was
nice.
to work with Michael Astorino so I could mimic what he does.
25 years later, a long time later, how did you get so entrenched in the commercial space?
Well, I started in residential, and during that time while I was working in that office, I received literally one phone call. I came from business to business sales, and I received one phone call from a commercial developer. Actually, they all said, "Oh, give this to Scrippa. He'll know what to do." It's like, just because I was more business-like than
Right.
Not so personable as you know, Steve.
Right. Yeah.
So anyways, one thing led to another, and that company was a development company that developed shopping centers only next door to Super Walmart centers. So they offered to teach me, and I worked independently as a real estate broker for them, but they taught me land entitlements, property management, leasing from a company who owned several million square feet of shopping centers.
Yeah.
So I did that with them directly for about 10 years, and then I started getting other new customers around town, through what I learned with them.
Yeah.
And one thing led to another, and here we are.
Scripper Group is born. Tell us the current climate with as it relates to Micron and
current climate
development.
First, I'll start quickly with residential.
Yes.
Residential market is a little bit crazy. Inventory is very light. If you need to sell your house, you need to call us, because Tom's wife, Kelly Soccocio, is waiting to sell your house. Nikki,
and she's nice. She's not like you.
She's nice. None of the people that work with me are like me. They're all loving and personal. I'm a lover, just
right, of course.
But anyways, Kelly Soccocio, Nikki Browner, Amber Perkins, our office coordinator, amazing team. All we do is get everything sold, and it's done so efficiently. Nonetheless, inventory now is a great time to sell. People are saying, is it a good time to sell? It's the best time to sell. There's no inventory.
Right.
You will get the top dollar for your
Awesome.
home. And then on the Micron side, we're seeing a ton of activity. We have had some top secret showings out there.
Top secret?
In the commercial
Who were
space. Yeah, exactly. So we have some high confidentiality, showings of companies that are coming to town
But that's how people work with you. It isn't a big public showing. There's conversations, confidentiality.
Lots of confidentiality.
And strategies and things, right?
Yep. There. And then we'll shift on to an independent owner. And what we do for them is in the property management or asset management, we handle everything for an owner. Maybe somebody did well for themselves. They bought a couple of properties and they're trying to take care of them themselves, and they've got 15 or 20 tenants or 10 tenants or 3 tenants, and they're starting to pull their hair out. That's where we come in and we take over, and we literally act as for the absentee owner, so to speak. And we work on the finances. We work on upkeep of the property, tenancy, income.
Turnkey.
Everything.
Yeah. I heard that the Barones were selling.
That's been for sale for a while, for a long time. Yeah. It's a good location.
We're up there at Thompson and South Bay?
In South Bay,
yeah. Because speaking of flowers, I just thought about
do flowers go bad?
Flower work.
Sorry.
It's very temporary. That's Joe Scripper right there. He's the owner of the Scripper Group. I suggest that if you have anything to do with real estate, or you're thinking about selling, thinking about buying, call the Scripper Group, scrippagroup.com. Check out the website, scrippagroup.com. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you, Tom.
All right.
Steve.
Jennifer Covert's coming up next. She's the executive director of North Area Meals on Wheels. Stick around for that conversation on The Local Show on 570 WSYR.
Welcome back to The Local Show, a service of Gettys Federal Savings and Loan and Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show, locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now, here are your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Happy weekend to you all. Thank you for joining us on this Father's Day weekend. I think I'd like a big steak. I try to not to do a lot of red meat, but that's kind of my go-to when
what kind of steak,
Father's
Tom?
Day. Oh, it doesn't even matter. Well, it does, but it doesn't.
Chop steak?
Well, if it comes from Sparrows, I don't care, right? I go over to Sparrows.
Gosh,
Nicholas wants me to get one of those tomahawk steaks. But I have to take out a home equity loan.
I was going to say, I think you have to make payments. Something about putting a $100 piece of meat on the grill makes me anxious. I don't know.
I know. Well, you better cook that right, huh?
Seriously. And then people overcook meat. It makes me so sick. They're like, well done. I'm like, well done. You're ruining it. Chefs say medium rare.
Absolutely.
On meat, right? That's what they say.
I get all my cooking instruction from Lions.
Lands. There we go.
They know how to cook it just right.
Now you're making me hungry.
You don't, I know. Anyway, it's our pleasure right now to bring back a returning guest to the show. It's Jennifer Covert. She's the executive director of North Area Meals on Wheels. How are you, young lady?
I'm great. How are you today?
Very good. And here's the thing. You can talk about whatever you want.
What?
After you tell people who you are and how you got into this business.
Okay.
Being the executive
All right, that's
director.
Fair. Well, yes, I'm Jennifer, the executive director at North Area Meals on Wheels. I've been there about 7 years. Love it so much. Nonprofit world is fun, but the best thing about it is just our people and who we serve, and just making a difference in the community.
Yeah.
Being the person that they see every day that brings them good food and a wellness check.
Who do you serve?
Well, we serve primarily seniors, but anybody can get Meals on Wheels. I mean, we serve homebound people who can't make their own food, or maybe people who are recovering from surgery and they can't make their own food. So we can do temporary, or just people who can't get out of the house and drive and need some nutritious, delicious food.
Do they have to sign up someplace? Or?
Yeah, it's super easy. They just give us a call, and we have case managers that can just talk them through it. And we can start them within a couple days. It's really
That's easy enough.
Yeah.
Where do you get your funding from?
Well, we have a lot of private funders, a lot of private donors. We get a little bit of funding from the county. Some of our clients are county funded people. And we do some fundraisers throughout the year. We have to raise probably over $100,000 a year just to stay afloat. So
Am I wrong, or can I leave that big bag of cans in my garage? You like
you are
can drives?
not wrong. You should leave it all the time. Every time you have bottles and cans, you should be bringing them to us. Yes,
the problem is, so you're on Church Street, right there underneath 81, right where there's no cell service, and my phone dies every day on the way home. There's it's like the
you
dead
can't blame
spot.
me for that. That is the area.
I was blaming you.
No, it's not me.
Can people seriously just drop off their cans randomly, or does it need an appointment to do that?
No, we have there's a receptacle out back, and there's a sign, and any day of the week at any time you can leave it. We have volunteers that come and they sort, and we actually raise about $25,000 a year in bottles and can returns.
Wow.
So it's awesome, and it's such an easy way to give back. You just drop them off.
Oh, you're talking about empty bottles and cans.
Yes.
Well, I mean,
For a while there, I was thinking, you want food,
you could do that too.
Okay.
No, the empties, your empties.
Gotcha.
Yeah. It's a great way to give back for sure.
So you're running out of room? What's going on over there?
Well, we are. I mean, ever since COVID, we have definitely had more clients, but we thought that was just a COVID thing and that would go down, but it's not. The trend is that more people need our services, or at least we're finding more people that need our services. Plus, there's areas around that are unserved. There's people out there that don't have access to home delivered meals, and we have the ability to do that. And to serve them, but we do need some more room to do that. So we've got to expand our building.
So tell me about the expansion. What are you dreaming of?
We're so excited. We need to build out back to store our non-perishables and our dry goods so that we can expand in our actual building, so that we have more office space, so that we have private meeting space for clients that come in and need to talk to case managers. Those kind of situations that we don't have right now will make it a lot easier for us to serve more people.
How are you going to fund that?
You're going to give it to me.
There we go.
You told me, remember?
The 15,000 listeners are very generous. And
Yes.
seriously,
Yeah.
people like to give to things that matter.
Yes, they do.
And you guys have a great reputation for that.
Yeah, I think people really buy into the fact that we're serving your neighbors and your friends right in this local area. So we're going to fund it by grants, by donations from our very generous community neighbors. And, we've got a campaign going. We've already started, so anybody can donate towards it. And we're hoping that we can make enough money to do our dream.
What's the goal of when the expansion would be finished, completed?
I think we're going to do this campaign throughout this year and maybe start building this same time this next year.
Next year,
yeah.
okay.
I mean, things are taking a little longer these days.
They do.
But we're hoping to start building next year for sure.
Fantastic.
Yep.
How can people get involved with Meals on Wheels to participate or work with you? Maybe volunteer their time?
Oh, absolutely. We're always looking for volunteers. We could definitely use some volunteers for this campaign too. Anybody who wants to, pass out flyers or help in any capacity whatsoever, they can give us a call. A lot of our existing volunteers are already getting involved in this campaign, but we are always looking for volunteers, drivers, kitchen help. They can just give us a call, come on in, try it out. It's very little commitment and a lot of fun.
Who typically drives for you and serves the food?
We have a lot of retired folks that come in. We also have some companies where their employees come on lunch break and they share a route, which is really neat.
No
You
kidding.
can get like 10 people from one company, and every 5 or 6 weeks or so, you're going to be delivering because you're sharing it with other
Right.
people. And it's great for us because we know someone's going to show up every week because there's a whole bunch of people involved. And it's nice that the company does that gives back. To
That's a
the
great
I-
way for a company
I love
to
that
get
idea.
involved. Yeah, sure.
I imagine Tom for a second delivering
Yeah,
food.
I can,
I
come
think
out.
you'd be great at
Oh,
it.
well, it's food you might eat it.
I got to try.
I might not make it.
I got
We might have to send an extra one along on your route.
I might eat it too.
It's really good food.
So how do you deal with dietary stuff? If someone's like, well, I'm gluten free and I can't have red dye number 2
Yeah.
and I don't do carbs and,
There's a lot of
and I
that.
can't eat pork. I mean,
There's a lot of that. We actually accommodate almost every kind of dietary restriction. Gluten free is tough because you need a whole other separate kitchen
Yeah.
for cross contamination. But most allergies we can definitely accommodate. We get a doctor's note and then we just put it on the sheet. And our volunteers are amazing. They just go through. We have actually specified people who do the specials, so they'll go and do all the allergies, and then those people get done differently. So it's a well-oiled machine. It's very organized.
Is there only one Meals on Wheels in Syracuse? Just the north one, or
nope? There's several. There's actually I think 4 in Onondaga County, but we're all separate agencies. We all have the same mission. We're doing the same thing, but we're separate. We have separate budgets and policies and procedures and everything. So
you're northern Onondaga County, right?
we are. Yep, we're northern Onondaga. We have about 10 zip codes.
So North Syracuse, Liverpool, Clay, Cicero, those areas.
Even Brewerton, Bridgeport, and Baldwinsville. The three
Baldwinsville.
Bs. Yeah,
Okay,
we have.
the 3 Bs, Tom.
Yeah,
that's
3
fun.
Bs.
I always think of you guys as the big one, the only one, but
We're not the biggest. I mean, there's a Syracuse Meals on Wheels. They're about twice the size of us.
Wow.
And we're all doing the same thing, but we just do it our own way.
I love last time you mentioned how people have conversations with people. Maybe that's the only individual to have a conversation with that day. And that touches my heart. And I think that's fabulous that it's not just food, but it's heart.
That is a very good point. We're not just delivering food. We are checking on them. The well check is the biggest thing. Are you okay?
Yeah.
And saying hello and being a friendly face that they need to see, because sometimes we are the only people they see.
wonderful. So if you want to get involved, it's NAM as in Mary, OW, NAMOW.org.
Yes,
right.
that's our
the
website. Check it out.
Jennifer Covert, right there, Executive Director of North Area Meals on Wheels. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Okay, have a great rest of the day.
You too.
Joey's Wish, Ann and Jason Morrill coming up next on The Local Show on 570 WSYR.
Welcome back to The Local Show, a service of Gettys Federal Savings and Loan and Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show, locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now, here are your hosts, Tom and Steve.
We're back again, folks. Thank you for joining us on this weekend. We know you have better things to do, but
Tom,
the fact
how
that
do
they
you know
spend some
that?
time because everybody's got better things to do, right? You know, some of us have houses that are just torn apart.
No, well, you.
Oh, good God!
How are you not like eating
am.
out to eat every? I mean, it's got to be a
It's
challenge
been
because
tough.
the kitchen's destroyed.
Real tough, yeah. And, of course, we're trying to eat well, right? So, how many times can I fire up the griddle? There's only so much I can make on that. And then that takes time, right? So then, after the work day, which is arguably if I work here at all, but, but at that, 5 o'clock hour when I, decide to start doing home improvement stuff, it just, I'm so tired. And then you got to cook. And then if you cook, now that's an hour and a half, 2 hours.
No, it's exhausting.
It's exhausting. So
and you stay up. You stay up late.
well, I used to.
I'm asleep by 9:30, but I'm up at 5.
Yeah,
or whatever
absolutely.
it is.
So it's been tough. Yeah, it's just been so a couple times we've cheated and had bad meals, and pizza's not good.
No,
it's just not good in any way, shape, or form.
No, but I sleep good, even Tom, on my mattress maker's mattress.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
And the fact fact that they have one that's large enough for you is amazing.
I have. It's a king. I'll give you that. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm like that.
Two kings sewn together.
No, it's like
Okay.
that thing on your car mirror that says objects are larger than they appear. That's me.
You are. You're a large object, all right.
But we got our mattresses, and several of the Zoey team got our mattresses out at Mattress Makers, right across from our friends at Fleet Feet.
Yeah.
On Bridge Street.
Even Big Nick sleeps on one. My Big
Well,
Nick.
you got a mattress and
You had to resize it, because he grew, So got that going on.
But one thing I failed to mention before, and Charlie actually reminded me, I got a text from Charlie.
Mm-hmm.
Don't forget about the one in Cicero across from Chick-fil-A.
Yes.
And there is one there, and they're rolling there. So if you want to buy a mattress that's made around here, go to Mattress Makers. If you want to buy one that was made far away, marked up a couple 1,000%, go somewhere else. Mattress Makers on Bridge Street and across from Chick-fil-A, Tom.
No need to pay more. There you go. So we have some new guests on the show today. Joey's Wish. It's Ann and Jason. I didn't know how to say your last name. Is it Morrell or Morrell? Morrell. Okay. All right. So you guys are. You can choke right up on those microphones. Get right up in there. Yeah. So I don't know much about the organization. The organization's name is Joey's Wish, and it's joeyswish.org if folks want to follow along and get online and check that out. So tell us, what is Joey's Wish? What is the organization? Why did you start it? And what do you seek to accomplish with it?
Well, last May, we lost our son to an overdose.
Mm-hmm.
I originally had said to Jason, we should do a walk around next year and donate the money to the local outpatient rehab that he was going to here in Camillus.
Gotcha.
And we talked about it for a couple of weeks. And he said, Ann, that's not good enough. I always tell people I have this analogy that when people start using opioids, there's a light switch that goes on in the brain and there's no off position. They can dim it with inpatient, outpatient rehabs, counseling, meetings. He was going to church. He was working full time, doing all the things he could to dim his light. Jason said to me, Ann, that's not good enough. We need to turn this light off. So I work here at a local Syracuse hospital, and my boss said, you should go to the foundation and open a foundation and raise money to do something with this, to do some research.
Yeah.
So that's where it all kind of started rolling. So there is an account at Upstate that it's called Joey's Wish.
The Upstate Foundation.
The Upstate Foundation is Joey's Wish.
And you work there? You're a nurse? Or?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yep. That money has to stay at Upstate for research.
Yeah,
we opened a non-for-profit called Joey's Wish, Inc., so we can raise funds as well, and it can be sent anywhere in the world with the most promising research outcome.
I see. Great. And
I'm so sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
And I think sometimes people say that because they don't know what else to say. But it sounds like the devastation that you personally experienced, you don't want other people to
Absolutely
deal with or go. Well, they deal with it. They deal with it, and I know several individuals that lives have been lost. People I know. Yeah. In this space.
And we feel there has to be an answer, and without research, there'll never be an answer. So our goal is to raise as much money for research as we can, and hopefully we'll have a research coming into the area. Upstate is currently looking for one, I'm told, from the foundation. But
so research to obviously to save lives. But what are the hopes? What are the things that people are talking about that can make a difference?
There's different studies going on. Obviously not as many as we'd like, but even down south, they found on MRI, they pinpointed part of the brain that's misfiring in addicts once they start using. So they've actually have an electronic device, like a pacemaker that goes that wires up into the brain. There's only been, I think, 3 studies that have gone through this, but things like that can take away that urge inside that they can't get rid of to use.
Right. I've sometimes I've been with people like, folks that have drug addicts, that have drug addictions, almost like they're better than that person, which offends me because I think God created us all, but by the grace of God that I didn't step into that, or have a medication from a surgery, or have a propensity to use alcohol over the top, or whatever the addiction is. So how do you deal with that? This was not a long time ago. Jason, how do you cope?
I mean, I think we put our heart and soul right now into this, not for profit. That's how we're dealing with it. That's how we cope.
Right. Maybe the hope of, again, not having others have that same same struggle.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you do for a living, Jason?
I work in a jail.
Oh.
So I had that mentality that you were explaining at first. Like, I'm better than you. You know, you're an addict, you're a user. And then it hit home and it changed my whole outlook on people.
Yeah.
So.
You know, it's real. Several years ago, I was working in ministry, actually, and I had two separate individuals that were struggling with addictions, and I knew them personally, and within 24 hours, they were both gone. And these aren't people that were just saying, screw that. They were trying. Yeah. They were taking some of the steps. They were doing some of these things, but there's a chemical addiction. There's all kinds of things there that are just awful,
right?
And they grab on. So the joeyswish.org, can folks get information there on how to support or how to give or
upcoming events
and things like that?
Yeah.
Yes. Yep. It's obviously joeyswish.org is our website. We have a couple events coming up on July 8th. We're having a walk around here at Onondaga Lake.
Okay.
Actually, tomorrow is the last day to get your free T-shirt.
Okay.
Each participant will get a addiction awareness pin and 2 tickets to the Double Days Auburn game on July 11th.
Okay.
We also, on August 19th and 20th, that whole weekend, anytime from 10 a.m. to midnight at the Fairmount Glen mini golf, we're having a fundraiser there those 2 days as well.
Great. See, so that's where people can get involved and get behind it. Yep. Well, thank you very much. This is a real, genuine thing. And I think it takes a lot of courage to step out of the place of pain you're in to reach out to others. So thank you for doing that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
joeyswish.org. You two have a great rest of the day, okay?
You too. Thank you.
All right. Kicking off hour number 2 of the local show, we'll have a conversation with Neil Carr, Vice President of Prime Heating and Air. Joe Kahn is the owner of Ichiban Japanese Steakhouse, and Rick Hardman, the owner of North Syracuse Lawn and Snow. And then, of course, Paul Zobel will wrap us up. He's the owner of Medicare Paul. Stick around. Hour number 2 of the local show starts really soon.
It's The Local Show on News Radio 570 WSYR, a service of Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts and Gettys Federal Savings and Loan. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now, your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Back into it and back at it. You've got The Local Show with Tom and Steve. This is hour number 2 of The Local Show. Get ready for engaging interviews with Neil Carr, Vice President of Prime Heating and Air. Joe Kahn is the owner of Ichiban Japanese Steakhouse. And then Rick Hardman is the owner of North Syracuse Lawn and Snow. And we'll have a conversation with him. And Paul Zobel, who is the owner of Medicare Paul. That's a friend of yours?
Yeah, everybody's a friend of mine, Tom.
Half a friend.
I make friends quickly, and you, of course, not so much.
Well, we made friends long ago. And
you and I.
A lot of things in person.
What do you think it was? Like 83?
It's got to be, yeah.
Right?
I was just, I was doing gigs and
oh my gosh,
seeing you out there in the photo world.
Yes, I was the tall, skinny photographer.
Yes, he looked like a walking tripod.
I was 4, so.
Yeah, you were just a youngster there, huh? It's our pleasure to bring Neil Carr back onto the show. He's the Vice President of Prime Heating and Air, primeheatandair.com, primeheatandair.com. And where's the super hot weather for air conditioners, huh?
Yeah, we had that spurt, a week or two ago,
Yeah, I know.
high 80s, and then got back to normal. But we're on average, I guess we're above average in 85 or 90 degree days, whatever it is already.
Did that make the phone ring or people?
Oh yeah. It got hot and people got nervous. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't know what to do.
Yeah.
So how long have you been with the company? With the
man, was that 2017? I think.
Okay.
So 6 years now, and so Dwayne, my brother Dwayne, started the company May of 15. So
Okay.
I came out about a year and a half later.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you guys are all from the area originally? Or
Yeah.
What side of town did you guys
grew up here?
on?
East Syracuse. Yep. Grew up right in the village, and went to school locally here, and then
ESM guys.
yeah,
right?
ESM guys. Yep. 2 older siblings that moved. We moved. Dwayne and I moved with my parents to Pennsylvania in high school, and then 2 older siblings stayed. So we were always back and forth.
Yeah.
Always, extended family here. So always been around.
Do you know a guy named Joey Wadsworth?
Joey Wadsworth.
Did you go to school with Joey?
Maybe. Is he my age?
He's my contractor. Yeah. He went to ESM.
Okay.
I told him, I said, I don't know too many people who go to ESM. I said, wait a second.
Yeah.
Didn't Neil Carr?
Yeah.
So you were right in the village of East Syracuse. So the real question was, were the fireworks as big a deal if you were in the village? Because they always had the reputation.
What fireworks?
Oh, the
Tom.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Neil, go ahead.
They're the best fireworks in Central New York.
We're known for our fireworks.
Yes, 100%.
Seriously?
Yeah.
He doesn't know that.
I know.
If you go out and you watch any other fireworks shows, 4th of July, you're not getting a full show.
Okay,
brother.
so
Tom, you really didn't know that they're
no.
that's their thing.
That's our thing,
So
man.
East Syracuse, Manoa, not Eastwood.
No, this is East Syracuse.
Yeah, this is in East Syracuse at the
Where?
football field right behind East Syracuse Elementary School on Kinney Street.
Okay.
The biggest. I mean, that's why I asked.
Well, maybe this year we'll go.
It's always the Saturday after the 4th. So you got the 4th, and then that following Saturday,
Okay.
best fireworks show in Central New York.
I could probably get a wedding reception.
Tom didn't know that.
I didn't know that. No, I didn't know they were the
Oh
best.
yeah, 100%, 100%. I'll put it up against anybody's.
What's that have to do with the heating and cooling?
It was
here?
East Syracuse.
doesn't.
It was East
that's
Syracuse, and then you put him in the okay.
We're local guys.
forgot.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
we're
you're
talking
local.
local.
That's it.
They're talking
Okay.
local.
So now you're doing the heating and air conditioning business. What makes you kind of different than some of the others out there?
Well, one, I think there's it's family run.
Right.
Dwayne owns the company. I work for him. So it's my brother. So I want him to do well.
It's owned and operated. It's not just owned.
Right. Yeah, it's not. We're not some bigger franchise owns us or anything like that. So there's 100% investment on both of our sides, and I think we have that vibe, that family vibe. I think the guys that work for us, we treat them like family as well. One of them is our family. And then I think that just the reason Dwayne started the company is that's the kind of the vibe that we have. Just to provide Syracuse with a, just upfront, honest, hardworking HVAC company that you can trust.
The reviews are great.
Yeah.
Did you buy those, or how'd you pull that off?
Yeah.
Because the reviews are really good.
Right. Yeah. We do our best to make people happy. We try to give them, best service, best communication. And then even on those times where things don't go the way we wanted them to, we do everything we can to make the customer happy at the end of the day. That's what we want to do.
On the crux of summer, right here, is there what should people do, if anything, to make sure their stuff works? Is there anything like, okay, this time of year you should?
Yeah, definitely keep those filters changed. Very important for AC. You don't want to starve the machine from air. You'll start to ice over and things like that. It'll run a lot.
How often should folks do that?
You should be checking them every 30 to 45 days and changing as needed.
I'm a little over.
Yeah.
I better go get some.
This has been a bad pollen year. You know what I mean? So you got a lot of allergens in the air.
What kind of filter then? Should you
just a pleated filter? Anything pleated. Not the fiberglass ones; those are the cheaper ones.
Right,
if you're using those, they're not stopping a lot.
Gotcha.
If you get the better rating you go, the higher rating you go, you got to change them more often. So
I'm paying $18 for a damn filter.
Yeah, you got to change that a lot because that means it's stopping a lot more things, and so it's going to clog a lot quicker. So
So what
Just
kind
nice
of price
basic,
range? Give us a price range.
I don't know. Honestly, I don't even know what they are in the stores.
Okay.
Right. What do you buy wholesale?
They're MERV rate. Yeah, exactly. MERV ratings, 8, 9, somewhere in there.
That's a MERV rating.
Yeah.
It says it right on
as long as it's
box.
a white pleated filter, you're in good shape. And then, like I said, check them every 30 to 45. And then if they look like they need change them.
So the big question everybody's waiting for us to ask is, what the heck's a heat pump?
Yeah. So heat pump is there's different kinds. There's air source heat pumps. There's water source heat pumps. So the most common ones are air source heat pumps that you see, like the ductless mini splits and things like that. So basically, what they're doing is it's using the outside air to help heat and cool the space. So there's refrigerant running back and forth. So like the process of AC is pulling the heat and humidity out of the air, and the refrigerant's taking that out, and you're discharging it outside through the condenser.
Okay.
It's a reverse in the winter. You're using the heat that's in the air, you're bringing that in, and you're helping use that to help heat the space. So it's a in and out of heat and moisture.
So a heat pump is a cold pump. So it's almost misnamed. It's both.
It's both. Yeah. It's both.
So why do they call it a heat pump?
It does heat and cool. That's a great question, Steve. I don't know. I should probably know the answer to that.
Let's rebrand it.
It's the heat cold pump thing. Is it a better deal? Is it more efficient? Or
it's much more efficient. Yeah, absolutely. Than a straight AC system, like the traditional AC condenser, for sure. And then
you got to use a lot less electricity, is what you're saying.
Well, it's the way it converts everything from AC to DC, which is a much more efficient. The inverter outside in the unit is much more efficient in using the electricity. So it's way more efficient than, say, a traditional unit or even like a window unit plugged in. It's much more efficient than those, and the ratings are a lot higher as well.
So you have room on your schedule to take on new clients?
Yeah, absolutely.
Good.
Yep. We're always
people can call.
Looking. Yep. And actually, we've gotten calls. People have said, "Hey, I hear you on that show with those two crazy guys."
Those guys.
Yeah. So just so you know, people are listening.
Excellent.
Yeah. So that's been good. And commercials, radio commercials, people are hearing us. So people are calling us all the time, which is great. We like meeting new people as well. And
excellent.
We're here for everybody.
Awesome.
Let's keep it going. Call them up and tell them you heard the two crazy guys.
That's right.
802-4287. 802-4287. Neil Carr, you have a great rest of the day.
Thanks, guys. Good to see you again.
Good to see you. Now get out of here because Joe Kahn's coming, and you're not eating any of our
I was going to say, I need some of that Ichiban.
Ichiban Japanese Steakhouse up next on The Local Show on 570 WSYR.
Welcome back to The Local Show, a service of Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts and Geddes Federal Savings and Loan. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show, locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now, here are your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Here we go. We're back at it again, folks. Tom and Steve, like a bad penny, always showing up. And we're glad that you showed up too. And we appreciate you listening to us. You can also see us on YouTube. That's Zoey Advertising. You see, Steve, if you just go straight to YouTube and you don't do any search and you put at Zoey Advertising 3809, it goes right to our thing.
There you go. But if you don't remember the number, you go Zoey Advertising.
Right,
you'll see our channel and you can see
tons of stuff.
The local show segments, but a bunch of other stuff that for different clients and different things we've done. So
absolutely.
And you get to see you, Tom.
Do you do any glamour shots of you, posing in your trunks?
No, not right now, Tom.
Yeah, not now. Not until you get it down to your fighting weight. Right?
Yes.
Then you'll put your Speedo on and we'll put that on YouTube.
Stop! You're making there's food to eat.
Yeah,
don't
right. There's food.
Appetite.
Oh boy, yeah. We don't want to mess that up. Okay, Joe Kahn is here from Ichiban Japanese Steakhouse along with Bridget Hodson. And thank you guys for coming.
Thank you for having us. We appreciate
Thank you for having us.
You're very welcome. So, folks, for those of you who don't know or haven't been in a while, Ichiban Japanese Steakhouse is here alive and well and serving lots of people. And they brought us food so that we could taste just to make sure things were up to par.
Yes, absolutely. So if you're on YouTube, you're looking at a beautiful shrimp here. And my bad, I didn't know Ichiban was open, Tom.
Well, I know. Well, it's
and it is. it was years ago. It was one of our special plays. You want to go someplace special? Like,
Yeah,
what
you go
about
to
Ichiban?
Ichiban, yeah,
and then we
Ichiban.
would, sometimes we would do the bocce, but sometimes we would just sit. And it was typically just Judy and I.
Right.
And we loved it. And I kind of
is it still in the same place in Liverpool?
Right, yes.
Is it over? Yeah, okay. Well, let's start off by talking to Joe. And I know, Joe's going to be a little gun shy of, microphones and cameras and all this kind of stuff. Because at heart, he's an entrepreneur. And are you a chef as well, Joe?
I am also a chef as well, yes.
Oh, very good. And Joe, where did you come from originally?
I came from Rochester.
Oh,
yes. We are neighbor.
Okinawa.
Didn't you pick up the accent? It was definitely Rochester.
I really thought he was going to say Okinawa. Okay. Yeah, but originally, where were you born?
I am come from originally from is Burma.
Okay,
Yes.
gotcha. Yes, I had a Burmese snake one time.
Would you?
No, I'm just lying. But anyway, I know that snakes do come from Burma. They've got those Burmese.
And I'm the one who had a son in Okinawa, so there.
Right. So you come from Rochester, and where did you get your training for being a chef?
Actually, I'm training from Plum Garden. I've been doing a chef for 16 years as Plum Garden.
I gotcha. Wow. All right. And how long have you owned Ichiban?
Ichiban, I own about around 7 months.
Okay.
Okay, wow.
Okay. And they did some renovations over there, right? That's maybe where my confusion comes. So Bridget, what did they do to the place?
We have a really giant blue tree when you walk in. Nobody can miss it. Everybody has to get a picture by the blue tree. People send pictures of them. They go, "You went to Ichiban without us?" They see the blue tree.
Right.
They're all, but
Right.
it's we got waterfall. It's very, very nice and updated inside.
Oh, wow.
And what does Bridget do over there?
I'm the manager.
Okay. And where'd you come from?
I'm always from Liverpool, and I actually used to do collections before this. So I went from yelling at people to saying I love your dress. So it's you look great tonight. It's
Very
I
nice.
need a payment. So I really love what I do. I'm a people person. So
And that's what got you into the restaurant business.
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So let's just be clear. How many Ichibans are there in Syracuse? Just one?
Just one.
Okay, the one, and that is in Liverpool in the iconic location, if you will. Right, I guess we could call that iconic, right, Steve? 'Cause
Absolutely.
it's
I
been
mean,
there
I think
since you
people
and I were
know
kids.
Old Liverpool Road. I think that people know
yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And it's still there and it's open. So
Yeah.
why do people choose Ichiban versus other restaurants and other options?
I think the main reason is it's a dinner and show all in one. And when it's a special occasion, you want the night to be exciting and
Right.
different.
Yeah.
So
Right.
you're not going to go get a sub or something. I don't want to say anything about anyone else, but
Yeah.
you just want to have a nice evening to remember and take pictures and build up memories.
Sure.
So that's what a lot of people
Right.
do.
Now-
We have people that are engaged there, they've proposed to in there,
Oh,
and they're
right,
coming
right.
in 20, 30 years later.
Yeah.
They say, can we sit there? That's what we said 30 years ago. I go, no
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah, I remember
So-
last time we were there. I could tell you where we sat, and
See?
I could tell you that.
I go, is
And
everything okay? They go, yeah. I go, okay, then you can sit there again.
So how do you train the chefs? Because they are.
Where do you get them from?
Yeah, how does that happen? Because they're very skilled. Well, certainly at cheffery, if that's a word, but in even communicating to the guests and having a relationship. How do you
Having some
train
fun.
them?
Oh, okay. Some chef is become so pretty much a family or a friendly chef is more easy to learn, but the trick is the most difficult for every chef, to be honest. So the chef is, if they don't show in front of the people, so that mean could be hibachi. So
Right.
that way the trick is we have to train ourselves instead someone train us. So
Okay, really? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, because there is a show, and it's entertaining. Where usually you talk and you kind of hang out at a restaurant and you wait and you wait and you wait and you're not
Yes,
sure,
correct.
but it's engaging right in front of you,
yes.
right? And I don't know, the food feels fresher because it's done. I don't know, maybe
Well, it is fresh because they're taking and put it right on the griddle.
I had a little boy come in the other night, and he's autistic, and he actually was entertained in watching, and I'm thinking it's different from waiting at a table for the food to come.
Right,
He was
right.
entertained, and it kept his attention, so the parents are like, thank God he's really enjoying this, and it warmed my heart to see that,
how big a party can you handle?
Bring it on.
So the party is one party for one table that we have. I think is we have pretty big table, so it's a family member, so they can sit like 13 people.
Okay, that's
a lot. Yeah.
Or if there's 20, we could just do 2 tables across from each other. So,
is there an option if I want to come and have dinner and not have the hibachi? Can I order from the kitchen?
Yep.
That's an option, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, because we used to do that years ago. That's exactly what you
we
and
have
I
our
would
little
do.
tea lounge area where you can sit up there. You get the same hibachi dinner. It's cooked in back instead of in front of you.
Yeah, even they have allergy, anything happens. So if they don't want to in front of cook, we still option that we can cook in the kitchen if they got allergy, anything, so we can deal with in the kitchen as well.
We're really strict on allergies. We ask when we go to the table, and one time a little boy goes, "My daddy's allergic to cats." We're like, "No, it's okay. You're that wasn't a big seller. You're okay."
Right.
So we take them very seriously.
Right. So when are you open? You're open. Ichiban is open. That's just in case anybody's confused.
Yes.
What are there days of the week you're closed, and when are you open?
Actually, 7 days a week.
Oh, good. Okay.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we just started doing lunches. So we open up at noon.
Very nice.
Oh, wow.
All right.
Noon. And then we close usually 8:30 during the week. Sometimes if we don't have anybody coming in, and between 8:30. If you get
do you do takeout as well? Can somebody call and
Grubhub takeout.
Very nice.
A lot of people Tom's age eat dinner at 4 o'clock. So
oh my God.
it's early.
Us old folks.
Us old folks. So,
no.
so people come around 4 or 5. They open at what time again?
12 o'clock.
Right, on Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah, other days we open up at 4:30.
4:30. Okay.
Ichiban Japanese Steakhouse. That's the .com is the website.
Yes,
okay.
and look at the food on.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ichiban Hibachi Steakhouse.
Ichiban. Oh, okay.
Hibachi Steakhouse.
Go to the Facebook page. We're going to be starting Monday Madness, which is going to be like music and sushi sampler plates. And
beautiful.
We got fun things in store.
And reservations at 457-0000. Is that correct?
You got it.
So reservations 457, the Liverpool, the big area.
Yeah, the big area.
Easy. 457-0000.
That is wonderful. Thank you.
Reservations are recommended for the hibachi.
Sure.
Understood.
I don't like people coming and having to wait, so I like to recommend it.
Excellent. That's Joseph Kahn right there, who's the new owner of Ichiban Japanese Steakhouse. Thank you so much, Joseph. We really appreciate you coming.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. So that's the end, or can I add one more thing?
Real quick.
Then, so like you guys, we said, so a lot of people didn't know that we opening pretty much. So now, and we try to grand opening date is July 28th on Friday. So whoever that they come with the family, we give them a 10% discount and couple coupon. Whoever they can bring is all of them.
The grand opening. That's excellent.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you again. And thank you, Bridget.
Thank you for having us.
Rick Hardman is coming up next. He's the owner of North Syracuse Lawn and Snow. Stick around for that on The Local Show on 570 WSYR.
Welcome back to The Local Show, a service of Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts and Gettys Federal Savings and Loan. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show, locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now, here are your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Oh, are we going? We're back on The Local Show. I didn't know. I was watching digital things.
Tom, that light is on the air. It means we're on the air.
Hey, folks, we're back. What do you know? So tell me a little bit about Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts here on The Local Show. What do they do for us? For other people?
If you're a listener, this isn't the first time you've heard. If you don't protect your home and life savings, you haven't protected your home and life savings. So if you want to do that in your middle upper, you have a little bit of money. If you want to keep your house, you own a house, you don't put it into trust, boy, that's
why should you worry? The government will just take it.
The government will help. Long-term care.
Long-term will take the rest.
70% of people end up in long-term care in some form, shape, or another. And if you haven't protected that, you're in deep doo-doo. And if you want to leave it to the kids, you've lost that option. But Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts, they'll give you the straight shot. 370-9977 is their phone number. That's area code 315.
That's
the big one. 370-9977. John and Marie and the team at Safe Harbor Wills and Trust, Syracuse.com, Tom.
Okay, it's good to have Rick Hardman back on. He's the owner of North Syracuse Lawn and Snow. I go up and down Route 11 a lot because that's my stomping ground. And I see your place, and I see that you have things out there.
We have a lot of things.
Yeah. My son will often say, hey, Dad, can't we just go grab that tractor and we'll load it up? I said, no, they got cameras everywhere and shotguns.
We had one grabbed.
Did you really?
They actually caught him for the first time ever.
No kidding.
Yeah, well, when you steal a tractor in a U-Haul, you shouldn't run red lights in East Syracuse. Wow. And then when you get pulled over, you shouldn't have a bag of drugs on your dash.
Oh, yeah.
Which then allows you to open the van and see the bag that still said North Syracuse Lawn and Snow on.
Goodness.
Well, I'm sure with Governor Hochul's firm policies, I'm sure they'll never do that again.
They were released before I got there to pick it up.
No kidding. Yeah. And they probably had a gift card to a restaurant.
Yes.
And an apology for inconveniencing them. They had places to go.
We're sounding like a bunch of right-wingers here. You know that, right?
Well,
just saying. I'm just saying.
It is what it is.
Well, Rick is a business owner, and he owns North Syracuse Lawn and Snow. What do you do over there? What do you sell?
Well, we're primarily a John Deere dealer. My family purchased it from John Deere in 1977.
Oh, that's a while ago.
Yep, I came on in 2020. We are also a Ski-Doo snowmobile, Can-Am, ATV dealer.
Nice.
Amongst other things, Honda generators, handheld trimmers from Echo, gas or electric, because that's going to be all electric pretty soon.
Yeah, that was one of my questions.
Whether we like it or not.
Yeah.
Deere's coming out with their first zero-turn electric mower here this fall.
Oh, boy.
So,
there we go.
Pins and needles for that.
Yeah. Well, the last time we spoke, we were kind of masked up and we were talking about the pandemic and all that, and you were having trouble getting parts and pieces. Have things improved dramatically?
They've improved. Deere did a very good job during the pandemic. We were primarily affected after the pandemic. We had a lot of inventory during the pandemic, and then once the factories got drained, after the pandemic, if there is actually an after the pandemic, then we ran out of product.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, so last year and the year before, we were really dry on the John Deere side. Now BRP, which is Can-Am, Ski-Doo, Sea-Doo, all that stuff, they're a little slow on their product.
Is Ski-Doo, is that Bombardier? What's
Bombardier recreational product. They split.
Okay.
They used to be all one family, Bombardier, and now they split the aerospace and recreational are two different companies, and now recreational is bigger than the aerospace.
No kidding.
So they laughed at them, told them they were going to go out of business, and now they're loaning them money.
So you sell snowmobiles.
Yep.
Do you sell jet skis also?
No. Okay. Different franchise. Jet ski, snowmobile, ATV, and side-by-side, all different. So I have the ATV and snowmobile line.
Are people still buying ATVs?
Yes.
Yeah.
They would have bought more in the last 2 years if I could have had some.
Wow.
Because everybody was spending money that people were giving them.
Yeah.
And now that I have ATVs in stock, the traffic's a little slower, but they're still moving.
So people go up to North Syracuse. So right on Route 11, maybe a
just
mile
before
south
Sacred
of 31.
Heart. Yeah,
right?
just before
Quarter mile
Sacred
south
Heart
of 31 is my
quarter
tagline.
mile south.
Yeah.
Okay. Why do people travel to you?
Mainly, we've been doing the same thing with the same people for. My sales guy's been there 40 years.
Wow.
He loves it. He's my John Deere diesel guy. Deere's very concentrated on subcompact diesel tractors. I work on everything else, sales-wise, and Tom handles the compacts. They're very complicated attachments and programs and financing and different levels and order codes. And
do you get residential people or is it mainly farmers?
Oh, no. We don't no farmers.
Oh, okay.
We don't have the agricultural line.
Okay,
that's another separate contract. So we're all residential hobby farmers. The guys that think they want to be a farmer, we can hook them up with equipment to let them.
Are people brand loyal or not?
Yes, to a degree. You always have your faction that won't drive anything but the John Deere or the Ski-Doo. I mean, John Deere is probably the most infamous American company left around that's been the same company since the 1800s.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And all our stuff is still built here. You know, parts of it are built elsewhere, like everybody else. They have factories in multitude of other countries because that's where their markets are.
Midwest in our country, right?
Midwest, Horicon, Wisconsin. Yep, big. I've been to most of the factories. Tennessee, several factories.
Nice. So nothing runs like a deer. That's what
I know.
they tell me.
You just took what I was good at.
That's what they tell me.
And why is an E at the end of Deere? Explain that to me.
That was his name, John Deere.
Oh.
Okay, so they put okay.
He was an actual man.
Yeah. How do you compete with the big box stores that are reselling?
Well, they're selling Deere's entry level line.
Gotcha.
Which we also sell the exact same tractor. They could only sell that entry line. And when that first happened, we were very nervous. And what I have found is being so close to Home Depot or Lowe's actually helps us. Because they'll drive by and go, well, let's just see how much more it is at this dealer.
Right.
And it's the exact same price.
Right.
Except we have parts and we have service.
I was going to say, when they have service, where do you go?
And I won't be in lumber next week, so I'm going to be right here. No, I'm not going to sell you a carpet. I'm going to sell you a tractor.
Right. And be able to service it and everything, because that's very important. Over there, they're lucky if they can find the keys to unlock the dang thing.
Well, they have to pay us to put them together for them, which they don't like. But
seriously,
yeah, it cut down on Deere's warranty by, I heard, over 40%, because they don't come out of the crate, decks leveled, tire pressure, make sure everything's right. Because they're built by people, and sometimes people make mistakes.
Tom, I'd be good at putting things together. Like
no, you don't want Steve near the store. you don't even want him test driving anything. Tell me about the snowmobiles. With winter being, winter wasn't great this past year.
Winter's been iffy lately.
Yeah.
Last winter, we were very lucky that most of our product was pre-sold.
Oh, good.
Skidoo has a large portion of their product line that is only available for what they call spring order.
Oh, okay.
So, I sold 60% of next fall's order last March.
Oh, great.
Oh,
okay.
That's
the
good
year
for
before, it was 95% of the order. Now, this year, I'm a little nervous because the winter was terrible.
So people might be, hey, do I really want a sled?
And the problem is for them to meet emissions rules and things like that, the product is not, you don't just jump in and buy one. They're not cheap anymore.
Really quickly, do you think they'll go electric?
They did. Skidoo has one this year. We can't sell it. Battery operated in cold temperatures don't get along well together. So they have one that's only available for ski slopes, and its range is 32 miles.
And real quick, when do you open?
We are open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, and Saturday, 8 to noon.
Right there in Cicero, quarter mile south of Route 31.
You got it. That's Paul Zobel right there. Not Paul Zobel.
Nice one.
That's the next guy coming up. Rick Hardman. Sorry, Rick.
Did he write me a check? I don't know.
At least you opened this out well.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Get over there to North Syracuse Lawn and Snow. All right. Now, coming up next, we're going to talk with Paul Zobel. He's the owner of Medicare Paul, right here on the local show on 570 WSYR.
Welcome back to The Local Show, a service of Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts and Gettys Federal Savings and Loan. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show, locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now, here are your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Your bit of weekend fun happens right here with Tom and Steve on The Local Show. Thank you for joining us. If you really want to get a kick out of things, check out the YouTube channel and see it live and in action and all that. I've watched a lot of videos over the past few weeks, because we're doing the whole contracting thing, and I'm meeting my contractors halfway. Well, right now it's 75% me because I can't find anybody.
Well, think of all the money you
right.
saved.
Yeah, and breaking my butt here trying to make this thing happen. Anyway, as I go into my feed, I see all the Zoey advertising stuff and clips from the show, and I get watching our show. And I'm like, wow, this is pretty good.
Yeah.
These guys are fun.
Well, and so many interesting guests and so many interesting local businesses that are here to help people. And how would you get to know them otherwise?
Right. This is the forum to do that. But I got a show for you that I have been watching when I'm trying to decompress, because I'm trying to not be always in learning mode, and take a little break with the brain. And my father had suggested that I start watching the Arnold documentary. Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Okay.
And he was, I was a huge fan. And,
well, you were a bodybuilder in the day. Yeah.
And he inspired me to do a lot. And what an incredible story. It's on Netflix.
Okay.
If you have a chance and you want to learn, the rate from when he was a little boy back in Austria, really cool documentary on that whole thing and how he became who he is today. It's kind of cool.
I might, Judy has Netflix. I don't, but she watches it and access to it. That might be worth watching.
It is. It's cool because he's such an icon and everything. everything. Now here's a guy who's got a body like Arnold. First time I'm meeting him, it's Paul Zobel. He is the owner of Medicare Paul. How are you there, Paul?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. You want to give me a double bicep or? No, it's just Paul's a guy who has a business that he's going to tell you all about right now, because I'm not sure exactly what you do, and I want you to unpack that for me.
Sure. Well, first of all, thank you very much for the opportunity. As you mentioned, my name is Paul Zobel. The name of the business is Medicare Paul. And as it might infer from the name, I help people with Medicare. What I've found is that Medicare is one of those things that just about everybody is going to need. And unfortunately, virtually nobody really understands it.
Yeah, I'll say.
So what we do is we do a thorough education process where we first educate people just about the different components of Medicare, how to sign up, when you don't want to sign up, what is Medicare Part A, what is Medicare Part B, what is Medicare Part D, what do I hear about penalties, what does all of this mean? And we do a thorough education, and we do a lot of seminars around the Syracuse area and all throughout upstate New York to help people understand. And then once people do have a good grasp of Medicare, in many cases, they're going to need something with their Medicare. And that's where it really gets confusing, because there are probably, in Onondaga County, there are 36 options that have no cost whatsoever. And then there are options that do have cost, what are called Medicare supplement plans compared to Advantage plans. And we help people understand what are the differences between the plans that cost money and the ones that don't. And then once somebody feels that they have a good understanding of which direction they want to go, I represent almost all of the available options, and I'm completely independent. So I can help the person find out what's going to be the right product for them for this year, and then help them to figure out every year after that, make adjustments along the way. But that's the gist of it.
Wow, it's a lot.
It seems confusing.
Yeah.
And so you bring a decoder ring to the answers. Right? So you're like, okay, this is it. Because my perception, and I'm not old enough to be on Medicare, and that's good.
And you have warped perceptions.
And warped perception is that Medicare is Medicare, and then everyone else is trying to sell you something. Am I wrong?
Yes. And that's part of the challenge, and that's why, again, I appreciate being on here. The challenge is when somebody's turning 65, they're getting bombarded. With mail and phone calls, and why? If all of these people are trying to contact me, there must be some kind of sale, as you said, that's ready to be made.
A con, if you will. It seems like it's a con.
Right.
And that's common. So the biggest challenge for me is just, that's why I love doing these seminars, is just people don't know who to trust. So if I'm able to get in front of somebody, they can kind of get a vibe of what I'm about. But everybody is going to need something with their Medicare. You really don't want to just have Medicare, because if you just had Medicare, first of all, you definitely need a drug plan, because otherwise you're going to start incurring a penalty if you don't have one. But putting that aside, if you just have Medicare, you're leaving yourself exposed to possibly a lot of out-of-pocket costs that are unnecessary, because Medicare doesn't cover everything. So with a Medicare Advantage plan, for example, you can add something that has no cost, and now there's a cap to the most that you would ever have to pay if you had a ton of costs. Or with a Medicare supplement plan, you're going to pay a monthly cost, but you'll be able to go to any doctor or any hospital in the United States that accepts Medicare, and depending on which Medicare supplement plan you have almost everything covered. So you definitely, everybody needs something. It's very frustrating when you meet somebody that has nothing with their Medicare for a long time, because it's just not necessary. You are going to need something for sure.
We were chatting on the phone earlier this week, and you explained something to me that I didn't understand was, hey, let's put in, there's so many choices, and you don't charge for the services.
Absolutely free.
And let's put your doctors in. Let's put the medicines you're on in this program, and we'll add these other factors of what's important to you and co-pays, and then we'll say, hey, if you choose this plan, you'll save this much and you're covered. Don't do this and this. Here are your 2 options or 3 options. I thought that was a remarkable way of going at it. Do you have workshops coming up sometime soon?
We do. I don't have that schedule right in front of me, but they're periodic. Just about every week we have something going on in the area.
The Medicaid, Paul.
Medicare.
What's with the Medicaid in the word? Okay, it isn't Medicaid. Thank you.
Medicare.
Too much safe harbor wills and trusts. So MedicarePaul.com.
Correct.
There's information there, and people can engage there and connect with you?
Absolutely.
Okay.
How big is your office? Do you have other people who do what you do?
Yeah, I have 15 people, but a lot of the people are scattered throughout New York State. I have another couple of people here in upstate New York, and our office is on North Salina Street, right in Syracuse.
So if people have questions, they could call 663-8129?
Correct, 315. Yep.
31. That's the big area code, Tom.
Big area code again.
Write that down. If that's you and you have questions, reach out to Paul, 663-8129, Medicare Paul, MedicarePaul.com. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you very much.
All right. That's going to wrap things up for the local show, and that leaves us with the rest of the weekend so that I can go saw and bang up my knuckles and do all that kind of stuff.
I'm going out to dinner and going to go fishing town.
Yeah, that figures. That's good. You're going to spend time, well, you can't spend time with the one boy because he's in undisclosed location.
faraway place, but we're going to have time with family and friends, and it'll be great.
Well, good for you. All right. On behalf of the local show, Tom and Steve and Zoey Advertising, God bless you and your families. Why not take a walk today and every day with a friend or family member? You know, it keeps the weight down and the mind clear. The local show is heard every Saturday morning from 11 to 1, and then again on Sunday morning from 7 to 9. Listen together with a friend. Until next week, get down to business and keep doing business locally. Tell your friends about the local show right here on 570 WSYR, 106.9 FM, iHeartRadio app, and on YouTube at Zoey Advertising 3809.